Card here. This is a campaign diary of episode 19 of my Hand of Light campaign that I run. This is Finding Katso, part 2. So for this episode, I actually have the recording of the D&D session as well. So if you want to go check that out, there's a link down below. Warning, it's fairly long, but if you want to view an actual D&D session, you can go do that. Let's play D&D. In the last session, the heroes had just taken a short rest, and if you remember, one of their companions, Dunkel, wasn't there, so his player wasn't there, therefore his character wasn't there. And this session we had a new player, Luna, and so I needed to intro her, and so Dunkel arrived in the sewer compound that they were currently raiding with Luna, and he told the heroes, hey, this is Luna, I just met her at a tavern, she's cool, she can help us. And then Dunkel leaves because Dunkel's player wasn't there for that session either. And so the rule I have is basically if the player is not there, then the character is not there. And so, but I needed an intro for Luna. This is the intro I had decided on. Everybody at the table understands that you're just trying to introduce a player. It will not always fit perfectly within the story, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. When you're introducing a new player, you don't have to wait till halfway through the game session to intro the new player just because that's the only place it reasonably fits in the story. I think that's absolutely silly. Why would you do that? Why would you have a person, probably one of your friends, come to your game table, sit down, and for an hour or 2 hours do absolutely nothing because you have the perfect place to intro the person and you just need to wait for it. And who knows how long it'll take. That's not fun. I don't think that is enjoyable. So Luna arrives and the heroes all begin to go back through the compound. They had retreated a little bit to take their short rest. They go back through the compound. They go into an area that I called the Gauntlet. If you remember from last time, it had a bunch of wooden platforms and bridges and there was water down below. And the heroes are walking through there. They're going up to a door to get further into the compound. And then Donna's player is no longer with us. She had to go move and stuff, and so she can't play the game with us anymore, which is super sad. She's going to be running some of the bad guys though, which is really cool, but I needed to get her character out of the game, and so they're walking through the gauntlet and they hear movement to the right, they hear splashing of water, and a large tentacle comes up out of the water and grabs Donna and pulls her into the water. And at this moment, all of the players just start laughing because this exact same thing happened a long time ago to Donna. She wasn't there at the game session, and so I needed to get her character out of the story, and they were going through a swamp, and I had a tentacle come up and grab her out of the boat, and she went down below into the water, and the heroes were like, oh crap. It's a story device. They all knew what was happening, and so nobody jumped into the swamp water to find them. And in the same way, when this happened in the Gauntlet area, one of the players is like, okay, wonderful story device. He made some comment like that, and another player is like, yeah, so we could just waste 10 minutes going in the water and never find her or the tentacle. And everybody understood it was a plot device, and it was kind of like a harkening back to the first time that Donna got yanked by a tentacle into the water. And so this was the way that I decided to outro Donna from this adventure by the tentacle coming up and grabbing her. So at this point we just have 4 adventurers. We have Dexter the Wizard, we have Lear the Bard, we have Karn the Paladin, and Luna, the new player, also a Paladin. So they come through a door, and Dexter sends his bat to go ahead and scout. Doesn't find anything but some double doors. They go through some tunnels, and they come to these 2 wooden doors. And Lear the Bard is checking for traps, he's checking for secret doors, he's checking for everything. He rolls really, really low in his perception. Doesn't find anything. Karn goes up to the double doors, grabs the handles, and pulls. At this point, I tell them they hear whirling of gears within the walls. And I ask them what they want to do. 3 of them just say they step back from the doors. One of them says that he dives to the ground. And so I have them roll dexterity saves because whirling blades, spinning blades come out of the walls and begin to slice at them. 3 feet high, 5 feet tall, 5 feet high, and 8 feet high. And the player who dived to the ground, I gave him advantage on his save. I have this thing I kind of call the click rule that I read about online that sounds really cool. Basically, when a trap goes off, you explain what the players perceive, and then you ask them, what do you do? And depending upon their actions, you could give them advantage on their save, you could give them disadvantage, you could say they automatically save or automatically fail, depending upon what their actions are. And because these blades were coming out at 3 feet high, 5 feet high, and 8 feet high, Lear, who dived to the ground, I said, that gives you advantage on your save because you're getting out of like the kill zone basically. And so some of the players took quite a bit of damage from these blade traps. And once the blades went off, though, that wasn't the entire ordeal. There was a secret door that they had missed. This secret door slides open. A couple other doors slide closed to block off the hallway. And out of this room, the secret room that they had missed, come these little chicken-like creatures, small creatures, very aggressive, coming out of this room, cawing at them. And I show them all a picture of this, and one of them later identifies them. They are cockatrices. And so they have blades above them. They need to drop prone, otherwise they're going to keep taking blade damage. Prone, these cockatrices will have advantage on their attacks. They will have disadvantage on their attacks. And so this cool battle unfolds with these cockatrices swarming. There are only 6 of them. But they're swarming the heroes who are at a distinct disadvantage, and they're pecking at them, and a couple of them almost get turned to stone. However, as things unfold, Karn the Paladin jams his halberd up into some of the gear mechanisms, stopping some of the blades, opening up like a little safe zone where they can kind of gather themselves. Dexter Misty steps out of the way and begins shooting the cockatrices. Another one of the players just kind of stays prone, swinging her maul at them with disadvantage. And as the heroes are like wailing on the cockatrices and slashing at them, many times I describe the cockatrices as getting hit by the maul and going straight up into the blades, and poof, there's like a big explosion of feathers in the air. So the heroes defeat the cockatrices, and then after that immediate threat is over, they begin checking out the gear mechanisms and stuff. They jam them, they crush them, and they end up disabling the trap mechanism entirely so that they can proceed on through the compound. So after they come out of this little trapped corridor, they come to a little intersection, and they look around and they find a secret door. They find no way to open this secret door, and they begin. Karn just rams into the secret door repeatedly. I think he rolled like a 28 on his athletics check, and I describe the mortar and bricks of this secret door kind of collapsing inward a little bit. And the heroes leave it at that, surmising that perhaps they have blocked that secret door off and that people can't come out to ambush them. It has happened before to them that they will be going through a compound and they will run into enemies, and then enemies will come out behind them through secret doors and stuff. And so they know that this is something to be avoided. So you got a couple big double doors. After some stuff happens, there's like a bar on the back of it and stuff. They have to like smash the door down. They take quite a bit of time smashing this door down, alerting anybody in the compound that they're coming in. And they finally break this door down. They go through and they find an octagonal chamber with a ledge about 20 feet high. They find that there is grease coating the walls below this ledge, making it extremely difficult to get up the ledge. And as they begin looking around the room it's a dead end, there are no doors in that room, they surmise correctly that there must be secret doors. Secret doors open, and enemies appear. There are swashbucklers, there are spies, and up above on the ledge, they can see a familiar figure. It is Shindia Darkeyes, a half-elf drow, who they've run into before, and Lear turned her into a rabbit with a polymorph spell. They nearly captured her, but she got away. Shindia greets them, and there's a little banter back and forth as they have a sort of conversation, and then Shindia looks at Lear and says, "You and I have unfinished business." Yeah, I don't do girl voices very well. So as the battle breaks out, Lear the Wizard does a great job of using Wall of Force to divide the forces. Many of the swashbucklers and spies are cut off. Shindia Darkeyes is trapped in the room with the heroes, and Lear casts. He has a staff of an insect staff or something like that, and he has little scorpions. He casts insect growth, I believe, on the scorpion, turning it into a massive scorpion. The scorpion, actually, this happened before they went into the room and found Shindia. He had done this thinking something would happen in this room, and so he's got this giant scorpion in there. Shindia, right off the bat, fires. She's an assassin out of the monster manual, and they have crazy damage output. They do like they have sneak attack, which is 4d6 damage, and they have poison on each of their attacks. They have 7d6 poison damage that they pop out. These things are nasty, and she pops off the scorpion right away, almost killing it, and then the heroes begin to engage. It's really hard to get at Shindia. She's up. I put her up on this ledge. I have the wall greased on purpose. I did not want it to be easy for them to get to her. I wanted the heroes to have to use their brains and find out a more ingenious way of getting at her besides just, I climbed the wall. So what they do is, I think it was Lear or Dexter, one of them, cast Levitate on Karn. So he levitates up the wall over here on this side of the octagon, and then he uses his halberd to push off from the wall, propelling him over to the ledge where Shindia is. And I think the first time, actually no, before that happened, Karn tried to climb the wall, and then he tried to jump from the wall to the ledge, and he rolled really horribly on his athletics check, and it had him face plant in the ground. Second time around, though, levitate, push over with the halberd, and he got over on the ledge. And then as soon as Karn engaged Shindia on the ledge, she started to go down really fast. She is what we would refer to as a glass cannon. Meanwhile, down below, Luna is taking out swashbucklers and spies. Once Shindia goes down, swashbucklers and spies go down, Dexter drops his wall of force, and it opens it up to the rest of the enemies who had been, some of them had been trapped in a secret little room, little cubby for the entire time, and they start cleaning all of them up. So there was, one of the secret doors in this octagonal chamber went back to that secret door that they had like smashed in, and two of the spies were planning on flanking the heroes from behind, were unable to do so because the heroes smashed that door up. I had kind of ruled that they had kind of broken it in enough. The door, I had it designed so the door would like slide to the side. Since they smashed it in, it was no longer able to slide at all, and so they couldn't flank the heroes. They were forced to engage them from the front, which was fairly ineffective. Many times in my encounter design, not always, but when I want an exceptionally challenging counter, it is not enough to just put bad guys in a room. You need to do different things. You need to have interesting terrain, environment to overcome, hence grease on the wall, making it difficult to get to this ranged attacker that's doing tons of damage. You need to do things like have enemies come from the flanks, come from behind. You definitely cannot, especially at high levels in 5e at least, you can't just put a cluster of enemies all right together. They got to be spread out, they got to come from sides, they got to come from different directions, because the heroes have access to crazy spells like Hypnotic Pattern and Fireball and Hold Person and just lots of different stuff. If you cluster them all together, you quickly find your bad guys dead. So the battle closes. One of the spies surrenders, and one of the swashbucklers had surrendered too, but he didn't drop his weapon, and so I think it was Dexter killed him. He's just like, no, he didn't drop his weapon. He's gonna die. So the spy's alive. They interrogate the spy. The spy basically tells them the layout of their entire compound. This is where our barracks are. Shindia's quarters are here. The workshop is over here. This is where Katso is. Katso has his own special guard, his own special soldiers that he's been training. The gnomes are over there. It's like an alchemy lab. He just spills the beans, basically. He is a spy. He is a criminal in this organization. They're going to kill him. He has nothing to lose. Why would he withhold information? The best he can hope for is tell them what they want to know. Maybe they will spare me. And then if like the criminal organization wants to come after me because I like ratted on them, I guess I just gotta run away. He knows how things work though. He knows that if he doesn't tell them what's up, they're just gonna kill him anyway. And it works. The heroes, especially the paladin, Karn, and probably Luna, because he cooperated, they decide, okay, we're not going to kill this guy. That Karn goes over to these doors that they had mostly destroyed, rips it off the hinges, and they tie the spy to the door, leave him on the ground, and tell him, we'll be back for you later. And the heroes don't know I did this. Okay, so I had Karn roll a sleight of hand check to see how well he could tie the spy up. And I think he got like a 15 or something on it. I forget what it was. And then behind the screen, I didn't tell him I was doing this. I did a, was it a sleight of hand check too? An escape check, basically, to see if the spy was going to get away. I rolled it, and he rolled lower than Karn, and so I ruled that, okay, the spy doesn't get away, because I was totally planning on him trying to like slip the ropes and run away. Unfortunately, he didn't roll well enough, and Karn must have secured him super well to this door. Guapo! 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 Come here, Guapo. Oh, yeah. Guapo. Guapo. This is Guapo. He's Guapo. We call him Guapo because he's muy guapo. Guapo. Es un gato muy guapo. Guapo, guapo. That's why we call him Guapo. That was his cameo. His little, yeah. Here he goes slinking off. So at this point, the heroes go further into the compound. They go to Shindia's room. They use a key they had found on her. Shindia had like a bunch of potions on her that I forgot to have her use. I always put lots of cool things on the bad guys, like potions and other really cool things. And then when I'm actually running the session, I forget to use half of these things, which is probably a good thing because some of the battles I put them in are really crazy hard battles. So it's probably good that I forget to use these things. Anyway, they go into Shindia's room, and I describe, you got the standard thing. There's like a table, there's some chairs, there's a desk and a bookcase. On the desk, they find a book it's like a book of dirty little secrets, I called it. It basically has information on Waterdeep noble families and guilds and certain individuals from those families and guilds, and it basically has like dirty secrets about those people. Some of the stuff is like embarrassing stuff. I actually had printed off a sheet of all these different things that it would give you, like dirty secrets that would just be embarrassing, things that you would go to great lengths to conceal. There was actually incriminating stuff, something that would incriminate you of a minor or medium offense or a greater offense, and the reason is that what Shindia does, she is the spy master for the criminal organization for which she works, and it is her job to gather information about nobles and guilds in Waterdeep so that they can use this information to extort those families and organizations. That's her job. That's what she does. And so she has a ledger, basically, of all of her notes, of all the information she's gathered about all of these people, so that her criminal organization can properly blackmail them and extort them to progress their means. And so the heroes found this, and now they have it in their possession. And if you watch the actual D&D video, the session video, you will see Lear the Bard get super excited when he realizes what they all found. And the heroes immediately are thinking the exact same thing. They're thinking the thing that I know they would be thinking. They want dirt on the Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians. Specifically, Physic Verdun Hulda is a man that has been a pain in the butt to them. He has done various things to make their lives difficult. For instance, the heroes had some gnomes that were producing potions of healing. They were selling them in the marketplace. The Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians, I call them the GAP. Basically, they didn't like this because it was like competition. So Verdun Hulda, he did a bunch of stuff to them to mess with their lives. I'm not going to go into that now. That's why my videos get so long, because I go in these little tangent rabbit holes, and then I go off, and I never stop on them. So I'm not going to mention that now. But the point is the heroes all have a big beef with the GAP. And when they get this book that has dirt on Verdun Hulda, and they rolled on the table and consulted it, and there is incriminating information on Verdun Hulda for a minor or medium offense in this book, and that all of the players are super excited, especially Lear. They're so looking forward to totally messing with the GAP now, and that is why I put that in this adventure, because I knew that it would touch on a personal note with the players and the heroes, and it would be something that would get them excited, because we just found something that's good. We're going to be able to use, not now, but later, we're going to use this information to totally screw these guys over. So in Shindia's room, there's like a wooden partition. Inside this is her bed and stuff like that. They go in there, they see a chest with runes glowing on the chest, and they surmise that this is some special chest. These runes, I don't know what they do, it's probably trapped. And Dexter says, you know what, guys, let's skip this. Let's go to Katso and take care of him. We know he's over in the workshop. I don't want to mess with this right now. We don't know what this is. Let's come back later. And they say the same thing about the barracks. They don't go into the barracks. They don't want to check that out. They are making a beeline for the workshop where they know Katso is, and the entire compound is aware of their presence, obviously. I think they're probably thinking, look, the more time we give them to prepare, the worse it's going to be, as they're sitting over there thinking about how bad they're going to mess with us. So the heroes head to the workshop. They come to some double doors. They open the doors. Inside, they find a massive chamber. There are two ledges. The doors open up onto one of these ledges. Down below the ledges, there's water. There's some water intakes. They're dropping water down into that water down below. And they're on the far side, on this other ledge that's over here, there's like a low wall. And on the back side of that wall, they can see some like alchemy benches and stuff. They're over here. And there are two rickety wooden bridges that are leading across from one ledge to the other. And as they kind of move into this room, they hear a familiar voice coming from within the room. It is Katso's, and he basically welcomes them for getting this far, and he tells them, first of all, the gnomes are his. He has no intentions of giving them back, but he invites them all to join him in his like group as his like followers, as his worshippers, as he conquers all of Waterdeep. And he tells them that it's either join him or die because they have seen his wings, and nobody who sees his wings lives to tell about it. This is a hearkening back to Katso actually used to be a character in the group that was played by a player who is no longer in the group, and Katso's player had this thing where he never wanted anybody to see, he's a tiefling with wings, he never wanted anybody to see that he had wings. And whenever the heroes would fight a monster, and Katso had reason to fly, and they saw his wings, Katso would want to kill the monster, always. If they saw his wings, they must die. And so Katso now, he betrayed the group, he backstabbed them, he did a whole bunch of bad stuff. I might have talked about that in one of my other campaign diaries, I don't remember. So as the heroes are beginning to kind of move into the room and battle is on the precipice of taking place, a massive tapestry that spans the entire wall, probably like 100 feet long or so, unfurls from the top of the wall, going all the way down, revealing Katso standing on a throne made of rear dust blocks, which is like a drug-like substance. His hair kind of blowing in the breeze as he kind of stands there, and down below him, worshiping him, are all of the heroes present. Dexter, Lear, it shows Donna as well, who's no longer with the group. It shows Adri, Rain, and some of the other heroes, some of the characters that have been with the group. All of the current and former heroes are bowing down before Katso, and this is what displays on this tapestry on the far wall. And the players at this, I think some of them might have laughed or something, because when Katso was actually part of the group had this like secret compound, and one of the things that Katso's player told me that he wanted to do is he wanted to commission special tapestries of himself and other hero members, like riding horses and stuff like that. You know, the Katso would be like riding the horse, and the other hero would be like behind him, grabbing around the waist. His hair would be like in the wind and stuff like that. And so in their secret base, he had paintings of this commissioned, and he put them in various rooms throughout their compound as a surprise for them. And then one session when the heroes all came back, we described this, and it was absolutely awesome. And so now this is kind of this unfurling of a tapestry is a hearkening back to when that all happened. And so all the players that were there, except for the new one, they were all aware of, okay, Katso has done this before, and now he's doing it again with his stupid tapestries. So when the battle breaks out, Dexter the Wizard does something that he did before. So Katso is up in this little water outlet. He uses Wall of Force to seal Katso into that water outlet, and for the entire battle, Katso is sealed within there, and he cannot get out. He is just stuck in there. And then I describe some, we'll call them master thieves or thieves that also have wings. They're tieflings. They fly up, and they are going to engage the heroes. And I also describe from behind this low wall, these thieves had been hiding behind the low wall, and also behind the low wall are the gnomes that Katso stole from the heroes. These are gnome alchemists. The gnomes all come out. The gnomes have satchels in one hand and concussion grenades in the other. There are 12 gnomes, and they all begin lobbing concussion grenades across this gulf between the two ledges at the heroes. Now, the heroes are in a sort of moral quandary, sort of, in that they don't want to kill the gnomes. They believe the gnomes are misguided and are following Katso, whom they call the Great One, for the wrong reasons, and they really want to convince the gnomes to come back with them and continue producing healing potions for them. Katso is using them mostly to produce weird dust, apparently. It's like a narcotic drug that he's selling throughout the city. So the heroes don't want to kill the gnomes. They don't do anything to the gnomes the whole time. The whole battle, they leave the gnomes alone. And the gnomes are basically pesky little bothers. They weren't doing a whole lot of damage. They were throwing these concussion grenades, but they had disadvantage to attack because of the distance. And so they weren't... There was one time where they actually were very effective. They hit Lear a few times and made him lose concentration on a spell, which was pretty important. Beyond that, though, they didn't do a whole lot. They were mostly just really annoying. So Karn gets fly cast on him by, it must have been Lear. So Lear casts Fly on Karn. Karn begins to fly across this gulf to engage these thieves. These thieves come up, they are flying. They begin engaging Karn. Karn is doing his Polearm Mastery Sentinel thing, and he is causing their movement to drop to 0, so the thieves are plunging down below into the water. They climb out of the water, they fly up, and so Karn is engaging them while he's flying in the air. I think, 3 or 4, all 4 perhaps, of the thieves at one point are engaging Karn the Paladin. Meanwhile, Luna is over on the other side of the ledge, Lear is over there, and Dexter is over there as well. However, as this unfolds, things are starting to look really bad for the heroes. These thieves are very powerful. They are dishing out a lot of damage. Lear ends up casting blindness on 2 of them, and despite being blinded, they're still being fairly effective by providing the other thieves like sneak attack and stuff like that. I think Luna some of the heroes dropped to 0 at least 1 or 2 times. I forget exactly which ones they were, but these thieves were turning out to be super nasty. And that is considering that Katso was sealed away in the Wall of Force. Imagine if Katso hadn't been sealed away and it was all 4 of these thieves and Katso versus the heroes. That could have gone really, really badly for the heroes. And it still might. So at one point, I think I had 2 of the thieves on Lear, and they drop him to 0, and I have the thieves keep stabbing him while he's at 0, which gives him automatic death checks. So I think at this point, at these high levels, they're all level 11s, the bad guys know that heroes don't stay dead. Like, he might drop to the ground, but we've seen heroes drop to the ground before, get healing, and stand back up again. And so at this point, intelligent bad guys, they stab you to death. When you go down, they keep stabbing you to make sure you're dead. They have fought too many heroes that get back up again. He manages to save himself, though. I believe Karn casts some like divine presence or something that causes him to do like a healing from a distance on Lear, and Lear ends up getting up again, and then he turns into a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is really cool. One of the thieves on him is blinded and doesn't know any better and stays right there. The other thief like attacks the T-Rex for a decent amount of damage and then retreats away, and then the T-Rex, what happens? He ends up losing concentration somehow as a T-Rex. I think somebody did damage to him. I don't know who it was. I forget now. I could probably go back to the D&D session and actually watch it. But he turns into a T-Rex and he never gets the opportunity to use his massive crazy bite attack or his tail attack. Somebody attacks him and he loses concentration. And I could definitely tell that the player was very disappointed at that. And to be perfectly honest, as a DM, this was an instance where I was kind of like, oh, that sucks, because I saw this battle going pretty poorly for them, and I always play my enemies strongly. The enemies want to win. They want to kill the heroes, but that doesn't mean I want to kill the heroes. And so the part of me that wasn't running the bad guys who wanted to kill the heroes was kind of like, they need this T-Rex. They need the T-Rex to rip some of these guys apart because things are going really badly right now. And then there's another point where Luna goes down. She's on the bridge. Luna goes down. The thief like stabs her. She goes down, and then he uses one of his other attacks to grapple her, and he pushes her off the bridge into the water. Unconscious character into the water. I paused, I think, for probably about 10 to 15 seconds in game before I had the thief grapple her and push her off, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is the new player. Like, I could kill her in her first session. Should I do that? Maybe I should just let her stay on the bridge. And I was like, no, the bad guy would totally do this. He would totally stab her so she goes down, grab her, and throw her off the bridge. That's absolutely what he would do. And I thought to myself, well, that could be considered a jerk move, but these heroes are super high levels. I bet you they will figure out a way to rescue her. They have a solution somewhere. They might not know it yet. When I throw her off the bridge, they might think, oh crap, she's dead. But they're smart. They're smart, and they'll come up with something. And so I was like, no, he's going to do it. And he throws her off the bridge. She falls into the water. So pretty soon thereafter, Dexter, who had ended up fleeing away from some of these thieves after drinking an invisibility potion, so what he does is he dives into the water to go after her. And once he catches up to her in the water, he takes a healing potion and he feeds the healing potion to Luna as she's in the water. And there was some question about whether you can, somebody who is submerged in the water, whether you can feed them a healing potion. And my answer was, look, you guys are heroes. You guys are you are awesome, you are heroic adventurers, and you do crazy stuff all the time, you have magic spells and stuff. I think that feeding someone a magical potion while they're underwater, this is just like part and parcel for you guys. So yeah, go ahead, do it. And that is as far as we got, because at this point, the manager of the game shop that we're playing at comes in the room and he's like, "Hey guys, how much longer you got to go? Because I need to close my store." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I look at my watch and it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We had all lost track of time as we're playing, and I'm like, "Oh no, okay, yeah, we're gonna be out here right away." So we had to stop the battle right there. In the middle of the battle, I took a bunch of notes and stuff like that. One of the players, Dexter, was like, "Oh crap, I gotta get home." Apparently he has some event going on and stuff, so he was like, "Oh crap, I gotta get out of here." And so it's amazing though that you can get so like involved in the game and you're having so much fun. And I mean, this was like a what do you call it? Just a massive, huge, long combat, and yet we were so engrossed in it that we just totally lost track of time, and we had to stop it there. And so the next time we get together, which is actually not going to be for another month, we will continue this battle where we left off, and they will find out whether how the battle turns out, because things aren't looking good for them right now, and Katso is still up in that cubby, kind of held up there inside this wall of force. They haven't fought Katso yet. And they know Katso's badass. Katso is extremely powerful. He has crazy abilities and stuff. And they're going to go into the battle with Katso possibly severely depleted, very low on spells, hit points, resources. This could be nasty. So this will be cool to see how this turns out. So hey, I am a writer. That is my profession. And in addition to writing during the day, which the company that I work for pays me for, I also write adventures for the groups I run, and I publish these adventures that I create over on DriveThruRPG. All of the adventures that I publish over there are based on, they are pretty much the adventures that I make for the groups that I run. I create them, the group runs them. I consider that a sort of play test where I like tweak little things, and then I go in and I write it up and I publish it and I put it out there. So you can go over to DriveThruRPG. Currently I have one adventure available. This adventure that I just got done kind of doing my little campaign diary for, it will be out there eventually. It's not the one I'm working on right now. I got a couple other ones based on like a drow, a dark elf adventure that this Hand of Light group had just done. Once I get those out there, I plan on putting this Finding Katso one out there. So if you're interested in like reading adventures and stuff, or if you're especially if you're a DM and you run the game for a group of players, go over to DriveThruRPG, check them out. Currently, the adventures that I am publishing out there are pay what you want, which means that if you're strapped for cash, go out there and just get them and just use them and have fun. If you got some money and you want to throw me a buck or two, throw me a buck or two. That's fine. But mostly, I want people to be able to go out there and get these adventures and enjoy them, play them with your friends and stuff like that, and just play D&D and have fun. So I also have a blog where I write campaign diaries. For the games I run, it's very similar to the YouTube videos, only that it's written so you can read it. Videos might not be your thing, that's cool. So, until next time, let's play D&D.